Once upon a time, in the land where the winters were crisp and the snow fell soft as down feathers, there lived a little boy named Nicky. Nicky loved to play in the snow more than anything. He had a brand new pair of mittens knitted by his grandmother, warm and wonderfully red. One frosty afternoon, Nicky was out playing, making snow angels and rolling giant snowballs. He was having so much fun that he didn't even notice when one of his beautiful red mittens slipped off his hand and landed softly in a drift of snow. The mitten lay there, a little splash of red against the white, looking very cozy indeed. Along came a tiny mouse, scuttling through the snow. She was very, very cold, and her little paws were freezing. She spotted the red mitten peeking out from the snow. "Oh, what a wonderfully warm little house this would make," she squeaked. So the mouse wriggled and squeezed and scampered inside the mitten. It was quite roomy for a mouse, and she snuggled down, warm and happy. Soon, a hopping frog came by, shivering in the cold. His green skin was turning a little bit blue from the chill. He saw the mitten with just a tiny bit of smoke, or was it just warm air, puffing out from the top. "Ribbit, ribbit," he croaked. "What a cosy place." He hopped right in, and the mouse, being a kind little creature, moved over to make room. It was getting a little snug, but still quite comfortable for both of them. Next, a fluffy owl swooped down, his big eyes blinking against the snowflakes. He spotted the red mitten, now looking quite full with a frog and a mouse. "Hoo hoo," he hooted softly. "That looks like just the spot for a nap." The owl folded his wings and with a bit of a squeeze joined the mouse and the frog. Now it was rather tight, but they all snuggled closer, sharing their warmth. Then a big, lumbering badger came sniffing along, his nose twitching in the cold air. He saw the mitten, almost bursting at the seams. "Sniff, sniff," he grumbled. "I do believe that's the warmest place in all the woods." He pushed and shoved, and with a mighty effort, he squeezed himself inside the mitten with the mouse, the frog, and the owl. Oh my goodness! It was squished, truly squished. But no one wanted to be out in the cold. After a while, a sly fox trotted by, his bushy tail leaving a trail in the snow. He caught a whiff of something warm and cozy. He saw the mitten, now looking like a very lumpy, very red hill. "Aha," he thought, "what a clever place to hide from the wind." With a wiggle and a squirm, the fox managed to squeeze his way into the mitten with all the others. Now it was absolutely incredibly packed. Everyone was nose to nose, tail to tail. Finally, a big, sleepy bear came ambling through the woods. He'd been looking for a place to curl up for a long winter's nap, and he saw the red mitten stretched to its very limits, practically humming with warmth. "Grr," he rumbled. "That looks like just the thing." He lumbered over and, without even asking, pushed his big, furry self towards the mitten. The mouse, the frog, the owl, the badger, and the fox gasped. "No bear!" they squeaked and croaked and hooted. "There's no room!" But the bear was already trying to get in. He put one big paw in, then his head, and with a final, mighty push, rip! The red mitten burst. It ripped right down the middle, and all the animals tumbled out into the soft, cold snow. The mouse scurried away, the frog hopped, the owl flew off, the badger waddled, the fox trotted, and the bear, looking a little surprised, simply yawned and lumbered on his way. They were all safe, if a little dazed. Just then, Nicky came back, looking for his lost mitten. He saw it lying in the snow, torn and stretched. He picked it up, a little confused, and shook his head. "Oh, my mitten," he said. He couldn't imagine what could have happened to it. He put the single remaining mitten on his hand and skipped off towards home, wondering just a little about the mystery of the very full, very broken red mitten. And that was the end of the very cozy, very crowded red mitten. Now, it's time for you to snuggle into your own warm bed, just as cozy as those animals hope to be.